Okay. When you take a look at your outside world, whether it's right in front of you right now, or it's the type of car you drive, the house you have, your job, whatever it is, your inner chatter is responsible for all of that. You cannot have a thought without inner chatter. And unless you identify that inner chatter when it happens, because you have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those 60 to 70,000 thoughts are just repeat from the day before. If you don't, if you can't identify when the wrong inner chatter is happening and reframe it, then you're going to continue to live the same outside world you have right now. And that's the reason for hypnotherapy. It's to, reprogram consistency and repetition of some of things going into your subconscious mind to do that. Uh, Andrea, you know, she's the queen of reframe. So
Yeah.
I'm going to let her have as long as she wants. And then when we're done with that, Andrea will probably get off. We'll do a little eye movement therapy, and then we're going to do another programming session if that's okay with you. And I can't ever shut up, so I'll be interjecting in and out too. So it's all yours, Andrea.
Thanks, Bill. Sara, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the journey of essentially changing your life in a way that helps you to become a better version of who you were yesterday. We won't even go into the past because um, it, it kind of doesn't serve a purpose. The only time that the past, I believe, is relevant is when we're trying to discover where your limiting beliefs, your blocks, your the language that you use is forming what could be perceived from the outer world as who you are as a person. And as we're growing up from childhood, when we first begin to understand some of the world around us and we're being conditioned by our experiences, we as humans have a tendency to go back to a time when refraining from using our words to express ourselves becomes a learned behavior because of what we experienced as children. And so, as I was reflecting on some things that you were wanting to change or work on, and I'm very conscious of the words and the language that I use when I speak, even when I am coaching someone, so that they can see and understand that the words that we use, they carry energy, they carry power, and it's easy to get caught up in I I don't feel comfortable doing XYZ. I've always been a failure at this, that, or the third, and different negative language that kind of puts us on this negative spiral when we have conversations with anyone and everyone. Um, and one thing that just from reading some things that you had expressed about uh, how you feel personally about certain things, like you stepping in a room and kind of cowering or with recoiling is the word that comes to mind. When you recoil, thinking that your essence, who you are as a woman, as a human being, shouldn't be seen because of things that you experienced from a very young age. And so I wanted to express to you just from just simply reading and just as you get to express your thoughts, it'll give me even more background. But just in reading your words, I wanted to reflect back to you that what you were experiencing is not a form of weakness. It's suppression. You've been suppressing your voice. You've been suppressing things about yourself that you know are there. You're very self aware. That's evident in why you're even here in the first place and why you chose to reach out to Bill and to continue on this journey to improve your beliefs about yourself. And so, with you freezing in moments, stepping into a room with coworkers or people that are considered bosses or superiors, it's it's not it's not anything except that you have adapted to surviving because all this time you haven't been able to kind of come up with a better way to work through the things that make you kind of recoil and pull back. Go ahead, Bill. You have a thought.
Yeah, it's a type of resistance based on the programming that you have well being programmed from the day you were born. So it's just all this inner chatter and stuff that happens. It's a type of it's a resistance. I know Andrea used the word negative. Let's think of it as a resistance. It's resistance to what accomplishing your dreams and your goals. So yeah. And I'm gonna give you a couple tools later on that you can use for anxiety, because anxiety is really that anxiety is what you have learned through that programming. So the anxiety comes in, and then it keeps you from really being the person that you really are. So, all right, I'll shut up.
And
I also like the word program because it helps me know it can be changed. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And so I'm just going to reflect on some notes that I wrote down, Sarah, and I wanted to reflect back some things from, we'll say, your old way of speaking and thinking. And so there were things I noticed that you mentioned where you stated, I'm not enough, I'm stupid, I should know better, I'm not smart enough. And so here is where I use everything that I've learned from my own experiences to kind of guide you into reframing the language that you're using literally against yourself, right? And so instead of saying those things that kind of diminish you as a person, you can say things like, I was conditioned to doubt myself, but doubt is not truth. And so that sounds much different than saying something like, I should know better. I was stupid for even thinking that I should speak up or that I should show myself or stand out in a room. And so for me, this already it tells me, number one, and just in the way that you framed how you wanted to make changes and certain affirmations that you had written down. And even in reflecting on those specific affirmations, to even improve upon those. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with how you've been perceiving life because of your experiences, but you've also what I see, and I believe, Bill, that you would agree, is that you've acknowledged you've definitely are very self-reflective. And so when we get caught up in focusing on the or resisting the parts of ourselves that are already there, but sometimes even when we're out there looking for answers, we'll go to Google, we'll go to chat, we'll go to other people, and it's so incredible that when we are experiencing things, the answers to our questions are always within us, or when we're connecting with our higher source, whatever your specific belief in a higher source, a higher being, God, universe. And so I think that when we take a moment to really think about all the incredible things that you've been able to accomplish thus far, that you're extremely capable. You've made it this far, and that's something to celebrate, right? In spite of whatever you've experienced, whatever setbacks, you've gone through in your life. There's many things that we can definitely work on to continue to improve ourselves and surrounding ourselves, first of all, with individuals that are like-minded, that are there to support you, that are there willing to listen and really take in what it is that you're saying to get a better understanding of who you are as a person, because your past experiences don't define who you are as a person. What that tells me is that you have courage, strength, resilience, and so many other amazing things. And so for me, when I coach individuals, is to help them to see not that we're feeding that we're feeding things to individuals so that I say whatever it is you think, whatever I think you know you want to hear. And so for me, I believe that it's so much easier when you're in a situation where you have tools that are available to you, and then you're able to use them in order for you to progress and move forward, and continue to find things out about yourself. And I believe, and I'm not sure how long you've been working with Bill, but he's been an incredible help to me as well. And we've known each other for almost 2 years now. And we've worked on different things throughout our business and friendship relationship, because in growing with someone who is able to listen and not judge, and I think that's what we need. And when someone is sincerely being there for you without judgment, with just trying to understand where you're coming from, and then how we can work together to become the best version of ourselves. And every day is learning and progress, and we continue to learn and grow. And so I would love to, I guess, get a from your own words, so that I can kind of help in however I can help you on this journey while I'm here sharing this space with you, to share anything that you feel would be important in knowing how to best support you on this journey to become a better version of who you were yesterday.
Mm. So I think as I've been working with Bill, which is amazing, and going through the process of the hypnotherapy process and restructuring the program, I guess, I have always been aware of mind chatter, but now I'm really frustrated with it because I'm working on what I'm working on to step into the new version or be who I really am. And then I'm still internally fighting with myself. So it's become a less of a, oh, you're stupid or that. It's more about, why am I thinking like this? And what's wrong with me? I just want to switch it. But it's still there. The recording is still there, and I want to break free from it. So I'm sort of stuck, not stuck, but that's where I am right now.
You'll never get rid of the old programming. Your old
Okay,
programming
got to
will
work with it.
always be there. The goal is to reprogram you, because you like that word. The word is to reprogram you so that now what pops into your thoughts or into your inner chatter is something that you want to pop in there instead of the old programming. It's always going to be there. You can't get rid of it. No matter what anybody says, you can't get rid of it. It's always there, and it will pop up even after you have done the programming to cancel it out. It'll pop up at certain times. Certain stress points in your life will cause that old programming to pop in, and you've grown already, just from what you just said there right now. The way you used to think that might have been a stupid thing or whatever, and then now it's, why am I fighting with myself? You're already noticing it. Your subconscious mind is saying, Sara, listen up. So now when it comes in, it's about reframing it. It's about making that thought, that inner chatter, into the programming that you want the next minute, the next hour, the next day, the next year of your life to be, and you're well on your way. You stepped when you first contacted me. You were already head and shoulders above a lot of individuals already. The fact that you are aware of what's going on between the two ears is a lot more than a lot of other people are. And the magic doesn't happen in a month. The magic happens over time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Sara.
Sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
And I think also something that I found out for myself, and I learned this from not only Bill but from other individuals that I've either worked with or just relationships in general. And that is that the more that we try to fight against something, the more that that's something that we're fighting against continues to show up. So, and you said it so beautifully that, you're no longer at the I'm stupid for thinking this, or, I'm not good enough, or I shouldn't have said that because whatever your reason is. Acknowledging that and then knowing that now it's just this chatter, these thoughts that are in your head. And in that moment, because you are aware of the chatter in your mind, that is a perfect opportunity to ask yourself a question. Well, what is true about this thing that I thought about myself? Am I really stupid? And you can answer that question instantaneously, and you're not. That's the reality of the truth. And so, like Bill said, it's not about expecting that change is going to happen overnight or in 30 days or in 60 days. It's about knowing that each time that a resistant thought comes up, that you take a moment, number one, once you acknowledge it, then you just kind of breathe in and breathe out, to kind of settle your nervous system. And then ask whatever comes to your mind first, whether is this true about myself? Is this a true statement? Whatever comes to mind is to allow yourself, and then think of a better way to reframe whatever resistant thought is present. So it's not about trying to make it go away and disappear. It's about what's a better way to talk to yourself in a loving way that is showing yourself respect, that is acknowledging that you're already aware of this thing that's just eating. I call them little the negative worms that just kind of start boring themselves in there for whatever reason, and they show up. Sometimes they even show up and you're having a fantastic day, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere it just seems like this thing from the past or this constant resistant thought keeps showing up, and you're like, but why? Today I've had an excellent day, I feel really good, but why is this showing up? And so again, if you fight, the more you fight against something, that's where your energy and your focus is going to. The thing that you don't want is the thing that you're giving energy to, hence why it keeps showing up. So if instead you're saying, this feels familiar, I I acknowledge that the way that I feel about this thought that is lingering in my head, and I'll just use it as an example. I don't feel that I'm important enough to be in a room with with individuals who are in a higher position than I am when it comes to work, right? And you ask yourself, well, what is it that I can bring to this organization? Or if it's a family relationship, what is it about me that people love, that people are excited to be around me? And I'm sure that there is one, two, three, four, five. And when you start noticing the good experiences you've had and the compliments that have been genuine, not the ones where you try to analyze and think that they mean something other than what it is, that you just accept that that is truth. If somebody says, wow, Sara, today you look amazing, you're glowing. And your first thought may be, well, I don't know what they see because that's not what I see. I looked in the mirror this morning and that's not what I saw. In that moment, it's like, again, before you begin to doubt and bring all the resistant thoughts of why they're wrong in what they're saying to you, or that what they're saying is not true, is to just kind of, again, pause, breathe in, and just kind of calm your nervous system and acknowledge that someone has noticed something about you that you've been emanating. And then ask yourself, if I accept this that someone else is saying as truth, how does that make me feel? And if you notice that, well, when I was little, I used to hear this and that from my mom or my dad or my sister or whomever in your life, and you make that conscious decision in that moment to say, but this person here has said this thing that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like they see me. And so people notice you. And what they notice is your energy, because your energy walks in before you do, always. And so when you begin to really accept the good things that people say about you, that's a first step, because I used to, for myself, compliments were very difficult to accept, because I didn't feel good about myself. And so in extreme situations for myself, and I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but there comes a point, I believe, in everyone's life where you kind of get tired of being tired of the same old thing, and you want to change. And the beautiful thing about this is, like Bill said, you reached out to him. So something, your higher being was calling and saying, I'm ready. I'm ready for the change. I'm ready to move forward. And you're already doing the work. And so the other thing that I really think is so important is to celebrate the smallest of things that you go through in your life. Those are the biggest wins to me than the real ginormous ones that maybe others see. But when you can celebrate the small wins in your life and acknowledge that, you know, in your waking hours, if you're up 12 hours or 16 hours out of the day, and you have, 10, 15 moments, little sporadic moments throughout your day where you just feel really good. You feel confident. You feel like you can take on the world and nothing will stop you. Each moment that you recognize that you've accomplished whatever it is, or that you feel good about that moment in its moment itself, that's a celebration. That's something to say, I feel good. I had this resistant thought pop up. I stopped, I paused, I took a breath, and I asked myself a question. Is this actually true? Is this valid? And how can I reframe this so that it's drawing attention to more things to feel good about? Does that make sense?
Mm. Yeah, I really like the reframe because I think I've been stuck in the thought that I'm having, and it just blocks like my creativity or anything, because I'm so fixated on that thought, that yeah, I retreat into myself, into my body. Whereas if I could reframe it, then I'm gonna be able to, yeah, show more of myself. So yeah, I don't think I've ever really looked at a reframe. I think that that thought has sat with me and been really heavy. Like I've talked to Bill about heavy feelings in my chest, and just sat there and almost made me feel tight, frozen, and then I'm essentially blocking myself, which I realize. So I'm not able to give the me that I want, because I'm, yeah, been stuck in that other type of thinking.
I wrote
I
down
feel
a
like
few words.
you can tell when Bill is thinking.
the when that pops in there, when that resistant thought and that resistant chatter pops in, like Andrea said, the biggest thing to do once you realize it's there is ask the question: is this true? Is this really true? And the answer is going to be no. It's going to be no. And then you reframe that to a truth statement. Reframe it to a statement or a thought that supports you, supports what you want. Now, don't get now. I don't try not to tell anybody how to do anything. I'll tell you, for me, when I started listening to teachers and coaches and stuff, I wanted my verbiage to be their verbiage. I wanted my reframe, or I wanted my, I'll give you a good example. Bob Proctor, I'm so happy and grateful now. It's got to be, I'm so happy, grateful, or now, or it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get caught up in that, because all you're doing is causing more resistance. You're fighting with the actual reframe itself. So you want to make the reframe your words. Even when I send you this recording, if something in here that we said reframe it this way, make it your words. Make it something that's easy. Maybe that simple thing, is this true? Maybe that's not your words. Maybe you say it a different way, I don't know, but you say it, you do something, and
Yeah.
reframe it your way, and then reframe the conversation within your head in a supportive and loving manner, because the most important person in your life is you, nobody else. You, because when you're not living a life of joy and excitement and wonder and a happy vibration, nobody else is either. They're worried about you. They're thinking about what's going on, this, blah, 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 blah. You are the most important person in your life. And it's got to be that way. And I know it sounds selfish, but like Abraham says, be selfish, because it's not really selfish. What else did I write down? Oh, projecting. When we are thinking that somebody else has got a certain idea about ourselves, we're projecting our resistance. We're projecting, we have no idea what they're thinking. We have no idea. They may be thinking, wow, what she just said was super good. And we're thinking, I wonder if they like that. Boy, maybe they think I'm less than I am at blah, 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 blah. We are projecting what we think they're thinking. And even if they are thinking that thing, who cares? Who cares? We said what we believed at the moment was the right thing to say. We said it with truth. We said it with honesty. We said it with trust in the system that we are valuable. So all is well, all is well. Now, I'm not telling you to say things that are derogatory towards somebody or whatever. I'm just saying, in a normal conversation, in a business environment, in your family or whatever. And so the projection part of it is a big thing when we're talking about other people and how we think they're thinking and how they're going to react. Remember, perception is a big word. Right now, this conversation, 3 of us in it, and all 3 of us are perceiving it a little bit different. All 3 of us are perceiving every single word that's being said in here just a little bit different. It might be very close. We might be really close to the same, perception, but everybody has a different perception. My wife, bless her heart, I can never get a color right. That's orange. No, it's not. That's, whatever. And it's an actual orange, perception. We all have a different perception of everything. I guess that's all I wrote down in words. I wrote love yourself in really, 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 really big letters, though. Love yourself, because the more you love yourself, the higher your vibration will be. The higher your vibration is when you walk into any situation, the better the outcome of that situation will become. Because like Andrea said, your energy and your vibration enter a situation or a room long before you do. You don't even have to be in the same room. If you're at home and you're thinking that your boss is going to hate this, you're projecting that into the energy that you're actually walking into work, or if it's a relationship, into a relationship, whatever it is. It's all about working on herself. And it's not a 1-day job, a 2-day job. It's a lifetime job. It's a lifetime. And the more and the better we get at it, the better our life becomes, day by day, step by step. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed situations where I'm perceiving it myself negatively and how that has impacted what's happening in front of me with the people, versus when I'm feeling quite confident and strong, the total opposite. So I am aware of how I feel about myself is key, because I'm bringing that out, which is, not selfish to be about yourself, because that's how you give.
Yeah. When you encounter I'm talking about your work a little bit here now. When you encounter these situations where you feel you're not being valued and your voice is being squelched and this type of stuff, is this something that you have the opportunity prior to walking into a room or walking into a meeting, whatever it is, and actually do a breathing exercise or do oh, wow, yeah, you got to breathe in for, everybody's got a different count. So use mine. Okay. You breathe in for
Yeah.
4, hold it for 2, breathe in through your nose, hold it for 4, breathe in for 4, hold it for 2, and breathe out through your mouth 6. The breath out needs to be longer than the breath in to reset your nervous system correctly. Nervous system is the buzzword out there for the last 6 months to a year, I guess. It used to be your self-concept, your self-esteem, your ego. I like ego best, but now it's your nervous system. And all that is it's just, it's softening your body, it's relaxing your body, it's changing the way, taking the stress out and making it a more relaxed body and vibration and energy that's coming out. So do the breathing exercise. You can also do what's called the 5 4 3 2 1. Once you change what your brain is thinking, it takes you away from the thing that was bothering you. Okay. So, 5 things can I see? So you look around, 5 things you can see. 4 things I can feel. Well, here's 4 things I can feel. My shirt, and if you can't think of 4 things that you can feel at that exact moment, 4 things that you can feel at any given moment. But you come up with 4 things. 3 things I can hear. 2 things I like to smell. What I like to smell, because maybe it's not in the room. Maybe the guy's cologne sucks, whatever. I like the smell of bacon. So when I'm doing 2 smells that I like, bacon's usually one of them. But then you know what the number one thing is? One thing I am super grateful for right now. What am I grateful for right now? And when you do that, you're not going to come up with one thing. You're probably going to come up with about 10 things really quick because you're grateful for yourself. You're grateful for your voice. You're grateful that you're alive. You're grateful for the day. You're grateful for your job. You're grateful that you were able to get to work. You're grateful for your friends. You're grateful for your family. Boom. It's all there. But you're only asking for one. But all those others, and then all of a sudden your nervous system resets, your vibration comes better because now you're grateful, you're happy, you're not in a resistant mode. You walk in the door and everybody feels it. Your turn, Andrea. Sorry.
I was one thing that stood out to me was about how you talked about in situations with work related, um, feeling that your voice shouldn't be heard, or it's not important enough, or things along that line. And I wanted to reflect something back to you. Something I experienced very recently is that authority does not equal superiority. So just because someone is in a position of power, because they own a business, because they're the head boss of the company, it doesn't mean that they're superior to you. And in that situation, I was right before you got on, Sara. I'm doing chores. I was cutting grass yesterday, but specifically today, something that came up was that whatever I allow from family members, friends, work individuals, coworkers, whatever it is that I allow them to do are the experiences that I'm essentially saying, and I'll use this as an example. If someone is having a conversation with you, and I'll bring up a boss situation, and their tone is condescending, or they're treating you as if you're less than, you're incapable of doing something, and everything inside of you is screaming, I'm very intelligent, I'm smart, I know what I'm doing. You hired me to do this job.
Mm.
And when their energy shifts from something that, was maybe positive at the start and then turns into something negative, you have to ask yourself, at what point did you notice? Because people give signs. Situations always present signs or red flags or things that go on where you're like, this doesn't sit well with me. And so you deal with whatever is said or done, and you're like, well, I'll just deal with it because it's not that bad. And then several months pass and you're like, you notice something else, and it's something inside of you says, this doesn't feel good. And again, you deal with it. It's not that bad. And I've already dealt with what happened before. I can deal with this also. And so in essence, what you're saying to the universe, what you're saying to your higher self is, it's okay for people to disrespect me, talk to me any old kind of way, diminish who I am as a person. And then the things that happen become even more egregious. And then you're sitting with yourself and you feel uncomfortable in your own skin. Like, why is this acceptable? Why does this keep happening to me? And in that moment, when you stop to take that breath and just ask the question, well, why does this keep happening? Oh, well, and if you listen and you taking in those breaths and you're just recentering yourself, the answers come almost immediately when you are open to receiving the answers. And you'll wind up having those flashes of situations that happened. And you're like, oh, it's because of that, but I'm not who they are perceiving me to be. I am who I feel that I am. And so you realize that you've allowed people to do things and say things, and you haven't done anything to remove yourself from the situation. And so things continue to happen and you keep asking, but why? Because I'm a good person, I do this, and you're asking yourself all these questions, but what you allow from others, from situations, are the experiences that you go through. And so up until very recently, I had this experience. And when I realized that I was allowing certain things to happen, I realized the only way for me to feel at ease, feel safe, feel free, feel light was that I personally had to remove myself. And I had that ability to remove myself from that situation, because if we make a choice, everything that we do has a consequence, good or bad. There's a consequence. There's a to everything that we do. And Bill here, I need your assistance a little because sometimes my words get lost. And so if you can pick up on everything that we do has a cause and effect. And so whatever is happening to us is what we are actually allowing to happen to us. Because when you get, for me, I'll use my own language. When I get tired of something, for me, I've experienced situations where I've allowed bad things or uncomfortable things to happen for too long of a period of time. And I realized through my own experiences and my own growth is that the span of time that it's taken me to say, okay, I've had enough. This is not what I deserve. I can't blame that person, that situation. I have to look within and say, what do I need to change within myself? What role have I played in this specific situation that I can help to change so that I'm no longer feeling this feeling that makes me feel achy? It's just like when you realize that, then it's like, okay, I have the power to do something better for me. And this is where that self love, that selfishness for self comes in, because you can't give from your saucer. And I like to use Lisa Nichols is one of my favorite individuals in the world. Okay. And she talks about giving from your overflow, the saucer, not your cup. because if you're empty, there's no way you can give to anyone, and you can't expect to receive, because all you're doing is, here's your cup, it's empty, it's not filled with all the love and all the beautiful things that you should be giving to self. And so you're trying to give out of your cup, and you're feeling depleted. You're feeling stuck. You're feeling like you're not moving anywhere. And so in that, you have to be selfish, and you have to give yourself that self-love and realize and know that you are important, that you do matter, that your words are important, and that you bring a lot to wherever you're at, especially if you know that your intentions and how you carry yourself is with nothing but love and respect for other people all over the place. So if you're receiving contrary, is because of your own view about what you think everyone else is viewing or what you're allowing. And so just acknowledging that, it helps to make a huge shift in itself, because you realize that you're too important to allow anything or anyone to make you feel less than who you are. And so that reframe in that moment, or not that reframe, but that choice to say, I'm ready to move out of this toxic situation or this thing that doesn't feel so good. But you acknowledge that, and then you begin to show yourself love. I deserve love. I deserve respect. I am good enough. I am important. I bring XYZ, and you know your own strengths better than anyone else does. And so I'm sure that there are times, if Bill or myself were to ask you, tell me about a time where you surprised everyone in a room because of what you brought to the table, whether it's work related or in a family situation. I'm sure you can think of at least one. And then as you go through, like Bill was saying earlier, things to be grateful for, you'll find that there are several things throughout your life that you've been really good at. And when we get stuck in that, I'm not good enough, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't take up space, it's you wanting to be able to stop suppressing things that you've been suppressing since you were a tiny tot, because of your personal experiences. And so there's so much that you have to give. And the fact, again, and I'll keep reflecting back to this, the fact that you're still here, that you're sharing parts of yourself with, I don't believe that there are strangers. I know we say stranger danger, but the fact that we're here together sharing this space right now, I believe it's meant to be, and that there is something that will help you to get to the next level of where you're trying to go. This is also helping me. And I'm sure that Bill can say that it's helping him in some way, shape, or form, because every interaction that we have with everyone that we meet that crosses our paths, it's to give us something, and a reminder. Your change is not because of Bill or because of Andrea or anyone else that you've taken a course or done a thing. It's all the work that you put into self, all the love that you've given yourself. And this is part of that love that you're giving yourself, is knowing that, hey, I deserve this, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to move to the next level of my life.
Okay. I wrote a couple of things down. We're double teaming you here, Sara. We're double teaming
I
you.
love it.
Better be careful. Next time I'll bring in a third person. The cup that she was talking about. You can refill the cup by things like what you're doing right now. Having interactions with people that feel the same way that you, people that are trying to grow, and people that look at the world as an opportunity and not as a job or as, a detrimental thing. That's the way you refill that cup, because there are going to be bosses out there and coworkers that are going to suck stuff out of that cup. And that's why you need these kind of interactions. So I know you're on a completely different timeline than us. I wish you weren't, but you could come to our book club every Thursday night, but it's in the middle of your sleep.
Yeah.
and we talk about things like this. We get together as there's 4 or 5 of us that get together, and we refill our cups by doing this stuff. And we do it online. So that's one thing. Let's talk about bosses just a little bit. The newer a boss is usually the stupider a boss. And I know that's the wrong word, but they haven't learned how to be a boss yet. A boss needs you more than you need the boss. Your coworkers, your boss hired you because you feel a need for that company. And bosses get stressed out because they think the company isn't doing what it's supposed to do, or this isn't gonna whatever. Excuse me. And then all of a sudden they start projecting that on their employees. And they learn it, but it usually takes bosses quite a bit of time and a little bit of maturity and a little bit of age to really learn. My time in the Navy, I spent a lot of time training brand new bosses. That was my job, training them to learn how to react the way they're not react, not respond the way they're supposed to, not react the way they are reacting. And that's what most bad bosses are doing. They're reacting. And again, we can put a little wrench in that. We can do it by expecting our day, by setting an intention. Abraham's real big on this, and I know you're familiar with Abraham. Set an intention every day prior, as soon as you get up in the morning. Set an intention that this day is going to be the greatest day ever, that this day everybody's going to listen to me. Today my ideas are going to be used. Today my boss is going to recognize just how valuable I am to the company. Things like that. You intend your day, and the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the better your vibration becomes each day you go to work. And eventually your boss has he has no alternative. No alternative if you do it properly and long enough. And there is no real proper way, but if you do it long enough, eventually he's going to change, or she. I keep saying he, why? It's not he or she. Your boss is going to change. So make sure that if this resonates with you, that you set an intention, an expectation every day. And you can, even before you walk into a room, expect that. So you set an intention in the morning, set it again at lunch, set it again at dinner, whatever it is. Expect everything to go your way. The other thing Andrea said is there are no coincidences. We're here because we were supposed to be here together, right? There is no coincidences at all. She's right. I'm learning stuff every time I meet with people. Whether they're looking for answers from me, I'm getting answers from them. So you should be charging me for, for assisting you. So, yeah, that's about all I have for this.
Yeah, I've been working on the intention, so thank you. And that's a good thing to actually think about using it several times a day for different things that are happening.
And here's the other thing, you know us. So if you need to reach out at some point, I'll make the time. I'll make the time to just listen to you. It might not be an hour or 2 hours. I may only listen to you for 15, 20 minutes and then say, Sara, gotta go. Because like right now it's almost 8 a.m. your time, right? It's 6 p.m. our time. So we're at a really disadvantage when it comes to that. But I know there's people in Australia as well that think the same way you do. And there's groups online, and there's people that you can talk to. But I'm available anytime for discussions like this, because my biggest joy in life, other than my own growth, is other people's growth and other people's success. It really is. So.
And the same thing
Thank
with
you.
me, Sarah. I also want to extend a listening ear, or support in any way that I can as well. I'm a strong believer that the more that you give, the more you receive, so that you can give more, so that you can receive more. And it's just a very beautiful, just give and receive kind of vibration. And for me, when I connect with individuals, I believe that I send out the energy of support, genuine love for humanity, and really connecting with you on such a level that you know that there is a safe space. There are
Mhm.
individuals out there that say that they will support you, and in your time of need there's crickets because you can't
Mhm.
find. And so I had to learn many years ago that when someone offered support and I didn't take it because I was stuck in my own mental chatter about I'm not good enough, or what if they judge me if I tell them this, or what if I'm judged because of that, or because it's taken me too long to change my old way of being. And even in those that frame of thinking, which is mental chatter, you're using language in your own mind about things that are taking away from your ability to move forward. And so when I made the decision, a very conscious, very intentional decision to change my language, even in my thoughts, when things come up and things aren't working the way that I want them, I would say to myself, okay, Andrea, stop, take a breath, and
Mhm.
say something really good about yourself that you believe 100%. And so I wound up stopping and pausing, because for me that pause, when I have all that stuff in my head and you just like want to scream, shut up. I
Mhm.
just don't want to hear it
Mhm.
anymore. You're yelling in your own mind, but if you just stop and you just take that breath, like Bill
Mhm.
said, 4, 2, 5,
or
and
six.
you just, or 6, or however long, whatever
Ah,
feels comfortable to you, because I've
Yes.
tried 6 and I feel like the 6 just, I don't make it to the 6. Um, but just really stopping long enough to take a breath, because it really just takes one. If you do it very intentionally, you don't have to do several breaths. It's literally what works for you. And I've found that sometimes it takes me 5 breaths to calm
Mhm.
my mind chatter down, and sometimes it just takes a quick reset to just breathe in and breathe out. And when I'm breathing out, I think of, I'm letting go. I'm letting it go. I'm breathing in because I just need to just like, I need to feel alive. And when I'm breathing out, I'm thinking and I'm saying to myself, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go.
Mhm.
And then I think about how it is that I want to reframe whatever it is that I was thinking of. And sometimes you'll remember what it is you're thinking, and sometimes just that reset
Mhm.
helps you to just get out of your head, because you have to focus on your actual breath. And I think that for me, that has been extremely powerful. But Bill had mentioned earlier gratitude. I can't express enough the importance of gratitude. And in our book club, we have Kim, who says how exciting, she references Bashar. And I had this moment where I was having a download, and I turned that how exciting moment. I was in the flow because we were having a conversation, but I have been applying it to my life personally and saying, and at first it was a difficult pill to swallow, because when you're going through things that don't feel good, to say how exciting is it that I'm experiencing this thing that doesn't feel so good sounds like a crock of bull, right? And so you're again, you're stuck in your head. But I just, it came and I couldn't stop. How exciting that we get to share this space via the ethers of the internet, right? That this energy is flowing right now and that we can see each other on a screen. How exciting that you're clearly on the other side of the world. And, if we want to get, really fun with it, you're like already in the future. So I'm speaking to a future version of yourself where you have already been able to achieve and accomplish so many amazing and incredible things. How exciting that you get to share this journey with two other people that are willing to support you and be there for you. How exciting that you arrived in this moment right now and that you are able to smile because you're here and you know that you're breathing. How exciting that you woke up this morning and that this moment that we're experiencing right now is all that there is. How exciting that in this moment right now is another beautiful moment to be grateful for. And how exciting that this moment right now, I'm still here. And how exciting. And just things like that. Just as I'm doing, I feel all these goosebumps through my body because how exciting is it? Right. And so when you get out of your head and you go within and you connect with your higher self, how exciting that you have the ability to know that, to see, to experience that. How exciting that others are sharing that space with you. And so those are the things that help me to reset any resistant thoughts, any resistant chatter, anything that is not serving my highest good. How exciting that I know, that I acknowledge, and that I'm willing to make a change each and every moment that comes up where if I find myself saying I feel stuck, I can, in that moment, realize that I'm saying something that's not helping me, but is keeping me stuck. How exciting that I acknowledge that saying I'm stuck, I can reframe it and simply say, I'm here right now. I'm moving forward. How exciting. And so if you just take each and every moment and express gratitude, because each moment, I'm so grateful right now, right now, right now. Every moment is right now. There is no back then or the future. It's right now. So,
The how
how
exciting
exciting.
exercise is such a great way to be grateful
Yes.
and a great way to express gratitude. It really is. I mean, it sounds so much more exciting than I'm so grateful for this. I'm excited.
Yes.
So it's a great way. I want to share something before I turn off the recording and we get on to the other thing. Every thought that you've had that was resistance, I've had myself at some point in time, and I still have them occasionally.
Same here.
So I just want you to know you're not alone. Never were, never will be.
Absolutely.
All right. Andrea, do you have
Very
anything else?
powerful.
Sarah, do you have anything that you want to say to Andrea before I kick her out?
Just thank you so much. It's been great to meet you. And no, I've written some notes here. No, I really appreciate it. It's beautiful.
I'm going to send both of you the recording probably tomorrow. So if you want to review it and of that as well. So I'm going to turn the recording off right now, unless you have something you want to say, Andrea.
No, just again, thank you for allowing me to share this space with you. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, please feel free to reach out. I have freed up my calendar for the foreseeable future. And so if you need support and I can offer any support, please feel free to reach out. Bill, you are more than welcome to provide my email and any contact information.
Sure. I'll do that tomorrow when I send the recording.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Sara. I'm excited
Andrea,
to be on this journey with you.
thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.